Welcome back, another episode of the SHIZCAST. Today it's SHIZCAST Live, the elusive 5-man/woman episode. It's never been done before. This is the first. We got, up in the top left on my screen, Mr. THC Harpy. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
Shout out your Twitch channel.
Oh, my Twitch channel, THC_Harpy at Twitch TV. I think that's right?
It's twitch.tv/THC_Harpy, but yeah, it's a good channel. Check it out. It'll be linked in the description. Mr. Bill, next in the top right. Shout yourself out, man.
Okay, hey, Mr. Bill, or only a Mr. Bill if you want to say it correctly. YouTube, Twitch, live streamer slash fakery streamer slash White Claw drinker. No, sorry, that's that one weird girl. She's down there. But anyway,
you're in the White Claw crew now. Hell yeah. We're growing. We're expanding. Next up is, down in the bottom left on my screen, That1WeirdGurl, another great streamer. Shout yourself out, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, That1WeirdGurl coming to you from Twitch, guys. That1WeirdGurl, GURL, here on Twitch, restreamer, live streamer from here in Sacramento. We do a bunch of stuff, but we love our shizbang.
And finally, the no cam Andy, Mr. PLOOKSTER, the chatter who we all fell in love with, the only non-streamer in the Discord. Shout yourself out.
Greetings, and a big shout out to anybody and everybody that might be interested in watching this amalgamation of streamers and on.
I gotta look that up in dictionary, Malcolm.
Amalgamation, it's like a mishmash.
I know.
That's why we love PLOOKSTER. That, and he's pretty funny. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, my name is Shizbang. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to start this off by jumping into a topic that we were discussing. The first topic I think we should start out with and get it right out of the way. And this is a sensitive one, so let's just talk about it right away and move past it. First trans athlete in the Olympics.
Way to go, New Zealand.
well, it's either that or France, right?
Yeah, and I could have sworn Russia got in trouble with, maybe it was just that they were giving their athletes testosterone or something like that. But yeah, it kind of goes with what we've been seeing here in the United States as well. Especially male transitioning to female. We've seen it in the UFC, where there was a person who transitioned to female and has broken two faces
in the UFC. It's crazy because obviously the biology is a lot different. Bone density, shoulder mass, even the shape of the skull, and it's way more conducive to fighting. Let me just read this quick headline. Weightlifter Laurel Hubbard will become the first transgender athlete in the Olympics after being selected by New Zealand for the women's event. 43 years old, had competed in men's weightlifting competitions before transitioning in 2013. And she's competing in the super heavyweight 87 kilogram category, whatever that is.
87 kilograms. That's a lot. And somebody asked me, and it's like, well, how do you feel about women going to men's? I'm like, well, that's kind of different in a way. But, I mean, we're talking weightlifting? I mean, again, you can take so many hormones and stuff, and it will change a lot of your physiology, but it's not going to change your, like you said, bone density.
They point out that this particular athlete is 37 years old and had never competed in weightlifting competitions as a man, ever.
So as a man, they could not compete, but after transitioning, they're going to the Olympics. Am I hearing this correctly?
But that they were not able to be strong enough to compete really in the men's
yes, that's what
version.
I mean.
But yeah, they're
so I think
it's like Joanna Man.
Real travesty of this is if they medal, if they're in the top 3 positions, they're gonna beat out a woman that has competed for years to get at an Olympian level and take away that woman's place
Well, that's exactly why. Well, that's exactly why in Madison, Wisconsin, Assembly Republicans approved bills Wednesday that would ban transgender athletes from competing in girls' and women's athletics. Shout out Base, Wisconsin.
And you know what Russia's probably going to do with this situation? If they have athletes that are compete against him, you know, I bet you they're going to pull their athletes from that race, you know. So they're not exactly into that kind of stuff, so they don't want any chance at there'll
be whole countries putting all their entire women's athletes as transgender women.
Take it away with
just to get some gold medals and shit and glory for the country.
Can we just have like a trans Olympics?
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like we do have, and so people are like, well, that's kind of a catch-22 because now they're allowing Paralympians participate in the regular Olympics. And I'm just like, no, there's just, again, I'm not against people transitioning. It's just, what is the true motive of this? I mean, if you want to be a woman or a man, either way, great for you. But it almost begs the question, what is the true motive then?
It just reminds you of the Dave Chappelle joke where they're like, if women were as good as basketball as the guys, they would just be in the NBA with the guys. There wouldn't be a WNBA. Mm-hmm. And that's just based on physical shit, like biology. So that's obviously there has to be two different sports, and just like Joe Rogan says in UFC, like if it's such a crazy disparity of physical biological difference between a man and a woman that it's a super touchy subject, gray area. I mean, it's not really a gray area, but I mean, that woman has been bashing people's faces in how many times now? Like breaking skulls and stuff.
At least twice that I know of.
And I've seen track athletes, and it's like 4 women running, and then a trans woman just fly by everyone, and the second place is like, what the? The second place, you know, is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, again, it taking pills and stuff like that to change your biology does not work in bone density and structure, this and that. It's just, I'm, if anything, kind of do the Barry Bonds thing, put an asterisk by it. And again, folks, I'm not against people transitioning. It's just, it's an unfair advantage. That's how I see it.
I don't think you can take women's rights away by giving trans rights. That's...
Well, their whole thing is we're not trans, we're just regular women.
Is the Olympic Committee kind of lowering their standards about the hormone levels or something like that to allow her in, or are they going to keep those hormone levels more, you know, talk about women level?
That's actually a good question. How are they going to monitor this? Is it going to be like a drug testing?
I'm going to skim the rest of this article real quick, see if they discuss it. But go ahead. Well, it says right here, Hubbard has been eligible to compete at Olympics since 2015. Hubbard is the chick's name. When the International Olympic Committee issued guidelines allowing any transgender athlete to compete as a woman provided their testosterone levels are below 10 nanomoles per liter for at least 12 months before their first competition.
Nanomoles? Like, what is a nano? Like, I've never heard that measurement.
It's a very small mole. It's a very, very tiny mole.
Is it electrical?
Mole, 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 mole.
I mean, I weigh stuff out all day, and that's just like nanomole.
Whatever. Later, let me look up what a nanomole is, because now I want to know. I'm interested. Nanomole.
Microscopic level.
Amount of a substance equal to a billionth of a mole.
Yeah, what's a mole? I'm not sure.
All right, let's look up.
A mole, a small rodent that burrows underground. burrows in the
Pisses
ground.
me off. Yeah.
The mole is a unit of measurement for the amount of substance in the International System of Units and is defined as some number to the 10 to the 23rd power particles. Bro, this is way beyond my understanding.
If you've been drinking it, you can't understand it.
I am not a scientist. I am not a scientist. All right. Plookster, last word on this?
Well, I think it's time we just open up a third category. We have men's Olympians, we have women's Olympians, and we have other Olympians.
I'm sure that will not offend any transgender athletes. All right, moving on. So, Ronnie Oneal is a dude who is being charged with killing his own wife in front of his kid and trying to kill his kid also, I believe, double murder suspect, and he's on trial and he was representing himself. Now, we watched a video earlier about this. Let me just do the intro to the story. We all watched a video earlier here, but I'm not going to play it now. You can look it up on YouTube. He asks his kid, like, they're asking the kid, like, what did he do? And he's like, he had the shotgun. I heard the shotgun go off. He was pointing at my mom. And then later on, he cross-examined his own kid, asked him, like, what did you see me shoot your mom that night? And then he goes, did I hurt you? And the kid says, yes. And he goes, how did I hurt you? And the kid goes, you stabbed me. To his dad, who's representing himself in court. Absolutely heartbreaking. Go ahead, Harpy.
First, there are words for, like, if you kill your husband or your wife or your kids or your kids.
Infanticide or things like that, yeah?
Yeah, those things. I just actually heard, I think it was actually one of you guys that told me this the other day. But, yeah, that's fucking terrible, dude. And it's really brave of him to try to, protect himself in court, but, that's...
Buried himself.
Yeah, pretty much. He dug himself a deep hole, 24 feet.
Rule number 1, never represent yourself. I don't care how much you think you are better than your attorney. Get another attorney.
It's true. I've done it. It didn't work. I failed miserably. The judge
Yeah.
literally told me, sit down, shut the fuck up, I'm talking now. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
You
it's
have to
one
know
thing
when to
when you're
talk.
going to traffic court, for a parking ticket, fine, do it. But, if you're trying to dispute a $50, $150 ticket, take the chance. But you're talking about your freaking life here.
Double murder charge.
Man.
This is a
Was
man
it
who's
you,
watched.
Shizzy?
This was a man who's watched too much CSI and thinks that he knows what he's doing for some reason.
I need my...
Right.
Yeah, people watching too much TV, thinking that they're Mr.
Watch
T.
too much Matlock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, and that reminds me, how come there's no Perry Mason reruns in the afternoons anymore?
Replaced by
You
Judge
You know
Judy.
what? I noticed that.
All the criminals that got,
Columbo's coming back.
Oh, that'd be cool.
all the criminals that got busted on the cop shows are now having to face justice on Judge Judy and Maury instead. They've taken over.
I miss the People's Court.
People's Court.
I met Judge Judy once for some random dispute with his dog, but he's an old pot grower up in Northern California, and we're out there smoking. He's just like, yeah, dude, you should check out the episode I was on. They said I could either pay my fines or go on Judge Judy, and they'll pay him for me. Just make it a good show.
Nuh-uh.
Swear to God.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know
You
the
don't
cops
have-
were in on it like that.
Oh yeah, the media, they'll pay your tickets. if
Oh,
you
the
make it-
media does it.
Yeah, yeah, like
The show pays it.
Oh, I did not know how that all went down, actually. I didn't. I just love when she yells at people, man. It's entertaining as fuck.
Can
She-
you believe she's walking away from that show this year?
what?
He's been doing it for, God, 25 years now?
She gets paid over like $28 million a year.
She probably
For
makes...
that show.
Yeah. So that's... I mean,
She's like the highest paid female
Yes.
on television right now.
you don't even need to keep working. Why would you?
She's starting a new show.
go to Cabo and just kick back, get a massage get a massage for 8 hours straight every day. You know what I'm saying?
You'd be a little bit too loose at that time.
I don't care. On the beach massage, 8 hours a day. Just look at my phone.
Oh, that sounds heavenly.
Then I'd have someone carry me to my giant yacht and drive me around, and I wouldn't move the whole time.
Well, if you're the captain, I'll be the Tennille. I'll be your Tennille.
Dude, I'll be the drunk captain, but I'm just gonna pay some other guy to fucking steer that shit. I'll just tell him where I want to go. It'll be great. All right, next topic. Does everyone want to talk about any other final word on how stupid it is to represent yourself and how crazy it is to have to cross-examine your own son that you stabbed?
I think that's.
I just can't believe he would have.
What?
Yeah, he had the balls to cross-examine his own son. I mean, you can only imagine the look that kid had to give his dad, and vice versa.
What it's going to do to that kid for the rest of that kid's life. That's scarring shit right there.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Traumatized.
I mean, it's one thing having to sit on the stand regardless, but to have your own dad do that to you with a whole bunch of strangers and knowing it's being televised, fucked up. Sorry, worst dad. He's in the running for one of the worst dads of the year right there.
Yeah.
Bill, were you going to say something?
No, I was trying to think of any other worst dads of the year that I could think of, but nobody comes to mind right away.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, go ahead.
That's a given.
Oh, shit.
So that was kind of a given, but yeah, I understand Biden. Yeah. And he, how he keeps kind of talking about the morals of Donald Trump and everything. I'm like, okay, you're really going to bring up his morals, really?
Is he still talking about Trump?
I don't know. I saw some Facebook post or whatever.
Everybody's still talking about Trump.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come back in August, folks.
I thought it was July.
Oh, shit. No, it ain't gonna happen.
In a little silver lining, the Hillsborough County detective adopted that child, apparently. The kid?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So.
At least he's not in the system.
Yeah, it says,
Right.
Yeah, so it was adopted by him. Next topic. A guy was going to stop a dude that was shoplifting, a man and woman that were running away with stolen goods, or they were shoplifting. They pulled up in a car, or in a little SUV. He pulled a gun on the shoplifters and held the gun up to him and told them to stop moving and called the cops. And when the cops pulled up, they pulled up, and in the video, it didn't even look like they shot or anything, because the guy never even looked over at the cops or pointed the gun at the cops, but the cops rolled up, capped the shit, they blasted the fuck out of the guy that had his gun out, killed him, and they're still investigating the shoplifting incident. Thoughts?
How are you gonna shoot him in the back like that, honestly? Like, without, like, telling him, like, to drop the weapon? That is quick, and it escalated way too quickly.
They jumped the gun, but let's back up. So the two people ran out of the store, started running across the parking lot. The dude that, went after him came out of the store, ran into his buddy's vehicle. He told him to go follow these guys. They went over to the next parking lot. The dude had a gun. Okay, I don't know if it was on him already or if it was in the vehicle. Goes over, holds them there in the parking lot next door. Okay, this is vigilantism 101. You understand, you want to protect the neighborhood, you want to try and do this. I understand that. But, Wyatt Earp, you are not.
Oh, the best thing you can do is just be a good witness.
Yeah, and this is exactly, if anything, they already had the camcorders. If anything, jump in the car, video him, follow him, if you feel the need. Him brandishing the weapon out like that, honestly, maybe the cops rolling up thought he was the one that robbed the store. So, but again, watching the video, it is kind of hard to hear. But I don't remember hearing drop the weapon. You know, I mean, it was just like, there you are, there's a gun. Pow! I mean, I will have to say, it's shooting on the dude. I mean, you even see somebody running, you know, in the background, in the direction of where the bullets were being fired. I'm going to call that both sides were in the wrong on this one. It was piss poor mistakes on both sides.
I'm going to say that, first of all, the cops definitely did jump the gun. They should have at least said drop it, because the guy probably would have put the gun down and hands up and walk away. You know what I'm saying? Unless they said drop it and then he, like, did this. That's a different story. But they obviously didn't have the right information, which when it's a 911 call, that stuff is like tough to get through. And they rolled up, they capped this dude. But I'm kind of with you on this, girl, because like I think they teach us a gun class, or they say it somewhere, but don't pull out your gun unless you're actually going to use it.
See, and this is the point I'd like to bring out. Obviously, this is an education thing that led this person to be killed, because they do teach you, you know, if you're in this situation and you have suspects, you know,
apprehended,
them, and the cops show up, put your gun down.
Mm-hmm. Or toss it away. Move it, you know, away from even the suspect, you know, toss it away.
You're not the bad guy.
When you, or could you at least just holster it and go hands up?
They probably won't like that so much because it would still be within your reach. And again, I believe maybe Plook might know a little bit more on this. But, you know, if even without the training you know, if I'm with somebody, I'm holding them down, cops come, gun is away from my immediate reach, or even the suspect's reach.
Now, I don't know a lot about guns. How dangerous is a gun's not gonna like fire if you toss it, ever, will it?
Depends on how crappy your gun is. If it's a cheap, there is a possibility.
So that could be dangerous. So maybe just kick it away?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to put it down. And,
well, at least,
you know, don't throw it.
They actually want it, depending on jurisdictions, but typically they want to see it released from your hand, not so much as that you letting it down, because at that point you could still come up like this. They want to see a distinct drop.
This is good to know. This is all good information here.
I mean, technically, there's really.
I mean, this is just from what I've seen on TV shows.
It's just like, you know, remove the gun from your person as safely and fastly as possible. That's pretty much.
But what about this? As soon as you hear the sirens, toss the gun. Or
when you see him pull in
or
the
at least
lot, my God.
But when they see him pull up in the parking lot, it could be too late, because they could be thinking you're a bad guy and wanting to kill you already. Like, these cops pulled up and it was already too late for that guy.
I'll play devil's advocate here, guys. It sounds like the guy on the ground nobody confirmed whether he still had a weapon, right? Nobody sort of searched him.
The shoplifter?
So possibly the shoplifter, let's assume that maybe he possibly had a gun. Nobody knew that at this time here. So he's making sure that he's at least covered from that guy pulling out his potential gun. Since the cops are right there, sort of, they're not knowing who has a gun. The only gun they see is his. But the guy aiming the gun, in his mind, he's thinking the guy committed shoplifting. He may have used a gun to commit shoplifting. He might still have that gun on him that he could use on the police or somebody else. How about that as a devil's advocate argument?
No, and that brings up a good point. That does bring up a good point, that maybe he was trying to still secure the scene, quote unquote. And again, watching that video, it seemed that there was a very quick judgment on the part of the officers. You know, again, woulda, shoulda, couldas is the main thing. You know, we could all talk about how we would do it differently, but in a situation like that, I mean, to them, even to the cop, it could have felt like 2 minutes, 3 minutes that took place, and it was like literally 15 seconds. I I would like to think that in that situation, you hear the cops coming, at least back away from the suspect. The guy that chased after the dude, back away from the suspect. Keep one hand up. Some type of signal. But how are you going to make universal signals when?
Listen, I'd like to just, because per my usual, let's take this to an even more controversial spot. And I would like to take this to, I believe that gun safety course should be mandatory to graduate high school.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. It used to be. It used to be. Back in the day, it used to be.
And a lot of that reason is, kids visit other kids' houses, and they may see a gun and not be familiar with how to handle a gun, and they think it's a toy. They don't have the respect that's needed. That needs to be known. Whether you're a gun owner or not, you should know the respect of a firearm.
Amen.
And that goes into the constitutional carry stuff that's happening in Texas, where they're not even requiring, from what I understand, any kind of license or training or anything like that to.
And there's good and bad. The good is that you don't have to go through the licensing process, but the bad part is the education part, because that's this guy that got shot holding the shoplifter at gunpoint was his lack of education, the responsibility of a gun owner.
I think anybody that has ever purchased a gun should have to take at least a few hour course. Again, that doesn't, you're still going to have idiots, but
I can speak to here in Washington, to get a concealed carry permit, you do have to have a gun safety course unless you're 50 years old or older, and then that is waived.
That's bullshit.
Then life experience is going to teach you how to handle a gun. I don't understand that clause in Washington state law, but
so that means that.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so think about it. 50-year-olds now are been playing Call of Duty, this and that for a long. Oh, I know how to, carry a weapon. At 50 years old, you automatically know how to handle a weapon. I mean, that's like saying my grandmother, Viking grandma, who's 75 years old, she can go get a license, yet never handled a gun in her life. She goes out and buys a gun and. Oh yeah, no, you're old enough. You don't need a license. You don't need to have a course. You're good.
Gun owners in the last 2 years, and it's a scary thing to think that these people don't have proper training.
But there's a YouTube for that, right?
There's a lot of good ones. My favorite one is Hickok 45. I don't know if you guys ever watch him.
There's so many YouTube gun channels. 1 million.
This guy shoots targets across a gully and tries out different weapons, and he's just an old boy from Tennessee, and is just a kick in the ass to watch.
Nice, I love that.
Just a good old boy.
Has anyone been to an indoor range where you can actually rent out automatics and other types of weapons like that?
I have been to an indoor range, but I never did the automatics. In fact, I'm that chick that shot off the Glock and the freaking shell went right down in my shirt. That sucked. It did. I had a nice little semi-happy face on my chest right here.
That's terrible. I'm the guy that shoots it, and every single one of my casings hits the wall and hits me in the head. I got a 45. So
brain power. That's brain power, my friend.
Unfortunately, right now, going to the range is almost out of the question because of the availability of ammo.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty bad, isn't it?
My father.
It's horrible.
My father's asking me, he's all, can you get some shotgun shells? I'm like, what? I don't even know if there's a gun store open in Sacramento anymore.
When I was in Vegas, I saw a line of people outside. And I asked these guys, like, what's this line for? And they're like, oh, the gun store's about to open. We're all about to buy some ammo. Like, holy shit. It's like 10 people in line for fucking ammo.
Question is, who's in line more? The people for the ammo or the people trying to get that new video card to Bitmine?
I'm happy I got my 2080 Ti when I did, man. People told me to wait. Oh, just wait. The new 3080's coming out, man. It's gonna be way fucking better. Yeah. Except for you can't get it. And if you want to buy one, you have to pay like double the fucking price from some scalper, you know? Fuck that.
Right. Yeah.
All the miners are buying all the crypto cards.
Has anybody heard of Pi?
I know about Raspberry Pi operating system.
No, it's
Pi is my favorite.
It's a new coin called Pi, but you can mine it off your phone for the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And watch your battery life go.
No, it's actually kind of cool 'cause, like, all you have to do is just push the button once, and it mines it. It doesn't use like no power at all, and it works even when if the app isn't even open. It just keeps mining for you. It's not worth anything yet, but it's still in development stages, so they have to make like a base for it and everything.
You should definitely research the stuff behind it, because a lot of these coins fail. But I'm not saying this one's gonna, but you have to research what's behind it, the technology behind it. Make sure it's good.
Well, that's the nice thing about it. It's literally still in development, so it's not worth anything. All it is a push of your button. Push the button once a day, and if it doesn't take off or anything, whatever. I push the button once a day.
Anyone here of AMC stock? Man, that shit is flying through the fucking roof, son. AMC just went buck wild.
Like as in the theater?
Yes.
What is it with all these sort of businesses that are not doing well in this kind of an economy that their stocks are going through the roof?
It's because of memes.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. It's all because of memes and the magic of the internet. Memes and Reddit.
Thank you, Reddit.
GameStop has been doing well, though, during the pandemic. People are buying games left and right.
Well, with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox new one that came out. But my GameStop stock is going down. And my AMC stock is going up.
So what can we start to make it go up?
There will be a new meme stock soon that people can make money on. You just have to buy the rumors and sell the news.
And it makes us miss those penny stocks in the back of the penny savers, doesn't it?
Kind of, actually.
Pretty much the same thing. Just now there's a little bit more oversight, but not really, if you think about it. I mean, we all, pretty much, I think we've all seen the movie, or at least half of it, Wolf of Wall Street. I never made it to the end. I was just like, God, that's way too much cocaine. Jesus Christ.
A good movie.
Did you see the part where he's on Quaaludes trying to crawl to his car?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
funny.
The best part. That's the best part.
I mean, again, there really isn't that much more oversight than what there was with the penny stocks as we see with Bitcoin Day. And so, we may possibly see this resurgence in, the penny stocks. Oh, wait, that's kind of what's already happening.
Bitcoin is going down right now. Bitcoin is way down. Did you guys know that?
It's somewhere where they're like, yeah, this thing's going to be over in about a couple of years. So, if anything, maybe there are going to be quite a few people that become millionaires out of it, maybe even a billionaires, couple. But I haven't tried any of it, so yeah.
Making at least some sort of money is the goal for me. Making $1 million, $1 billion, it's kind of that would be hard, I think. It'd be like a genius to do that shit.
Elon Musk.
All right, I have another topic here. We're gonna circle back on this one. U.S. Olympic athlete Chelsea Wolfe threatened to burn flag on podium. BMX freestyle rider Chelsea Wolf identifies as a trans woman. So here we go. BMX freestyle rider Chelsea Wolf, who qualified as an alternate to represent the U.S. at this year's Summer Olympics in Tokyo, said last year that her goal was to win an Olympic medal so I can burn a U.S. flag on the podium. This is quote, "My goal is to win the Olympics so I can burn a U.S. flag on the podium. This is what they focus on during a pandemic, hurting trans children," Wolf wrote on Facebook on March 25th, 2020, along with a link to a Pink news story about the Trump administration's stance on transgender girls in female athletics. Jesus Christ.
You know what I have to say with that? I'll be right back. I gotta go use the bathroom.
That's a valid response.
I was going to say, I usually don't cuss, but if I did cuss, this is where I would cuss.
Man, I mean, what an outrage.
Oh my goodness, I would just like...
That's just terrible.
A U.S. fucking athlete saying this shit? It's on Fox News, too. So it's just got published 4 hours ago. So this is brand new. Brand new. The headline, U.S. Olympic athlete Chelsea Wolf threatened to burn flag on podium. Google it if you want, if anyone watching this at home.
My goodness. They are going to get replaced.
Oh, big time. I don't know how you can send someone to the Olympics like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
although now you have a big story that potentially could happen, and the news loves big stories if they're going to try to see how much power the mainstream media has.
Imagine if any athlete did this, though, but then Olympic security came out with the fire thing.
Fire extinguisher?
Just extinguish the whole person and then tackle them and, remove them from the whole event.
So we do know, unfortunately, it is a right form of it is their right in a form of protest to burn the flag. We're on a world stage, okay?
Japan also.
Yeah. She has already made it a point, and we're not even talking about being trans or this or that, to not, I can't say make a mockery, but in a way it makes a mockery of all the other American athletes that are there. That's my feeling on that. Now we're going back to the trans, as an alternate. Again, in a sport that requires very physical training, and you can't change certain physiology, okay, folks. But I'm sorry, I with already making those type of threats, making a mockery out of other Olympians that are there, I think she should be off the team.
Spent their last 2 years training to go to the Olympics to represent their country, and then all of a sudden you're burning the flag of the place that 300 other athletes are there to represent. I'm like, how does that make any sense?
Other athletes might tackle your ass.
I know. I'm like,
right.
Not to mention
not even necessarily Americans.
I was just gonna say, Japan, they pretty much appreciate the United States nowadays. So I'm like, okay, the U.S. is kind of saving their tail with China over there. You might not want to sort of disrespect the Japanese people over there that are very appreciative of the United States,
And they're a lot harder on people who commit acts of public arson, I believe. That person might end up in prison, Japanese prison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say, imagine if there's another stricter country that they decided to do that in that isn't as lenient as the United States of being freedom of speech and all that.
But let's play a little bit of a different. The times were different. I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. And again, folks, let's take away from the history of that time being. How about we bring up Jesse Owens? Him doing the arm up. Obviously there was a lot of things happening in the world, especially with that country.
You're going to have to refresh my memory on this because I don't know about this.
Jesse Owens was in the Olympics back in the 30s.
Berlin
Olympics. And he was the one, the track runner at the Olympics. He won, put his fist up in the air along with the other gentleman.
Wait, I think you're conflating two different things. It was in the 68 Olympics.
68 Olympics. I apologize.
The guys
I'm sorry.
did the raised fist things, but Jesse Owens was specifically sent to Germany because he was a fantastic black athlete to compete under Hitler's nose.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I had too many White Claws. My bad.
Oh no, those are two good points, and they were both, to make statements.
Yep.
So, and again, that kind of brings up, well, we see that as strongness and wow, how am I trying to put this?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So I mean, we understand there's been a lot of atrocities and a lot of making a point, kind of like with Kaepernick,
I think you can draw
kneeling
the line on a podium of lighting a flag on fire. That should be.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter what country.
Right. Amen.
There are protests that happen.
Go out. Go out in the Olympic Square or Olympic Village and do it right there in the middle so everybody can see. Not on the podium, not in the stadium. Okay, if you want to have your little protest, do it out front.
Just be wary of the protest laws.
Make it all about you. Right, no, exactly. But now you're just making it honestly about you, that you are making the statement. You are making it about you.
I wonder if any athlete has ever
stay with water.
Oh my God! What if they set it on fire with the Olympic flame torch?
They just throw it in.
Oh Jesus!
Giant fire.
The last Olympics, didn't somebody kneel or something like that during their anthem or whatever when they won, something like that? Then that would be kind of controversial, but this would be above beyond kneeling or not putting your hand over your heart and stuff.
Let me ask that. When you're at an event and they play the national anthem, put your hand over your heart, or do you just stand?
I stand up and salute the flag, man. What are you kidding me?
Yeah. But do you just stand and look at the flag, or
I march around my whole living room.
Do you have the drum too? Or are you beating on the snare as you're?
I got my marching snare. I'm like, no, but for real, I'm just kidding, dude. But I've been known to sing along. I've been known to do a little bit of a sing along.
Yeah.
I like to sing, so I've been known to do a little bit of a sing along.
Like everybody though, once it's on TV or whatever, when they see that thing go on there, they're at least quiet and respectful, at that time they're not sort of carrying on,
If you're at the event, it's hats off,
and you're not standing up.
Unless you're a Philadelphia fan, and then it's pandemonium at all points. Doesn't matter.
If you're at a hockey event, you're definitely standing up.
If you're at a Philadelphia event, it's throwing batteries at Santa Claus.
Right.
Booing Santa, throwing batteries at the refs.
When I'm covering Only a Mr. Bill, when I'm restreaming him and we hear the anthem, I shut up.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
We just no, and even in my chat slows way the F down. Because some people are on a delay, so they don't understand. But yeah, the anthem comes on, I shut my yap.
Yeah.
And
if you had to type
until it's
something,
done, it's like
SHIZCAST USA would be a good thing to type in. Little American flag.
Shoot, even that baseball game I went to 2 days ago. It was the first one I took my kid to. Just short of like, yo, you like this? It's cool. We can do this more often and whatnot. But anyway, they played the anthem and everything. Everyone stood up. They did the right thing. I saw nobody doing anything disrespectful is actually amazing.
That is amazing.
They didn't play the Black National Anthem.
Yeah, what is that? I heard they were playing that at the Super Bowl last year. I'm like, what the Black National Anthem? What even is that?
What's that song?
Swing Low?
The 60s.
Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what the Black National Anthem is.
Rasputin?
No, somebody in your chat probably knows.
Rasputin. Dun, 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 dun.
Fucking love that song.
I am so out of the loop.
All right. I'm gonna send you guys a Twitter in the Discord call. The our 5-man chat. I don't want to play this on the stream. Look at this tweet.
Let's see what we got.
This is the next part of the news. Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh my god, the twerkers.
But read it. Read what it says though too.
Oh my god. No, I saw a video on Reddit of this, and fucking bitches were twerking on the freaking ambulance.
That's what this is. That's what this is.
Oh my god.
So
this is it.
This is it. Shooting at Oakland, CA Juneteenth celebrations last night leave 1 dead and 5 injured. So they're celebrating the new holiday, Juneteenth, whatever. And that 1 guy died, 5 are injured. The EMTs arrived, and this is how they reacted.
That is so sickening.
There's a guy
I just want to go over and
playing football.
Damn, dude, you know.
To all 25 of them.
Some of those moms that knew that.
There's a guy dancing on top of the football. There's 4 or 5 girls on the side twerking. There's one on the hood twerking. There's a guy behind each one that's twerking, dancing with their phone recording.
There's 10.
There's 2 chicks on the hood recording. There's 2 chicks on the hood twerking, and 5 chicks with their hands on the side on each side of the car with their asses twerking.
Guy on the roof over there.
The entire EMT thing is surrounded while they're trying to put the injured in the car, and they're all twerking all over the whole EMT car. Well, why am I saying EMT car? It's called an ambulance.
But there's like literally 3 guys about trying to freaking get some right there too. I mean,
yeah, there are.
I've been saying these protests that have been going on are just a bunch of kids that want to get laid.
Block parties.
Oh, big time.
Block parties.
These are just a bunch of kids that want to get laid.
I mean, this is just sickening. I mean, seriously?
I mean, this is what just they died.
One weird girl, come on.
They got shot. They're trying to take them into the EMT, and there's 8 to 10 black females twerking on the ambulance with all guys twerking around them. Plus, there's a dude on top throwing footballs to the crowd.
That's just so, oh my god. And people wonder why people hate us here in the United States. I mean, talk about disrespect first and foremost. No couth. That's honestly just
I know, I'm like,
what the
bad enough that they do it to the cops, but with an ambulance, and I'm not sure what color the person was that was injured, but I would imagine multiple races. I'm like, respect for whoever got hurt. Goodness gracious.
THC, your thoughts? THC, your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's just so dumb, dude. Like, I would say more, but because of certain things. But otherwise, it is disrespectful. I mean, fuck, man. When I wrecked, if someone was around my ambulance and stuff like that, I would have came back and once I got better, knocked them out. Like, nah, guy. Like, you take this person to fucking hospital. If they die, then you're all gonna blame the EMT people because they died because you're all around the ambulance.
And they're trying to, figure, try and pay attention to what's going on and this and that. I mean,
generally, ambulance. If I were the ambulance driver, you got to make a call. Is it even safe to get in the situation? Usually, you get the cops to clear everybody the fuck out, so you have room to work.
I was wondering where the cops were. Yeah.
So
they probably didn't go in because they knew if they went in, it would escalate the situation. So I think that was part of some of these people's thinking. It's like, we don't have the cops say, fuck, let's do whatever, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe if they thought if, we bring the cops, they're going to, fuck with the cops so much and, probably shoot cause more shootings and stuff. So let's just, I don't know though, but it's still unsafe for the EMT worker in my opinion.
I think that should be the lead clip on
because there's a shooter at large in this crowd.
Lead clip.
People were shacking fools.
You know, they should have painted the ambulance either rainbow colors or BLM colors and everything, and then maybe they would have allowed it to come in. Think so?
Honestly,
not rainbow colors, but
it's anybody's guess at this point.
No, it wouldn't have worked, and here's why. I've seen too many buildings with the sign, "We respect BLM, Black Lives Matter, respect black culture." Every window shattered, store completely looted.
Yeah.
Churches too.
Even the crisis prevention center.
Yeah,
well,
unless they invite the people like that one church did at Minnesota or whatever, said, yes, you guys can use our church property to get away from the police or something like that. That's about the only way you're going to be allowed to stay in a church or business like that.
Yeah, because they get protection from the church, but once they step out of the church, that's why you always hear about, there's families that are being possibly deported. And they're staying in churches for months on end, hoping ICE or whoever is just going to leave them alone. No, they got people sitting there watching it. They know. You know.
They waiting. Actually, speaking of ICE, they just dropped off a whole bunch of people here in my town that were all infected with COVID.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, what? Explain more, please. I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah. So, locally here, they, it's like a drop-off point or whatever. But ICE brought a whole fucking plane full of immigrants or whatever, maybe ag workers, but they all had COVID. And they just let them go do things. Go get jobs in the field so it handles people food.
They care so much about the health of everybody, right?
Oh, yeah, especially our governor who runs around. He's like, equality for everybody. Yeah.
I love being the most, this is totally off topic, I love being the most east out of all of us here. I'm Midwest. All of y'all are West Coasters. You know that?
Harpy was
West Coast.
Where's Harpy at? I forgot.
I'm in Washington.
I thought so.
He's up in the desert.
Yeah.
Oh, Moses Lake Ballpark. I got you.
No. Like, Yakima Valley area.
Okay.
Yeah. Got all the apples, hops, wine. Yeah. All the good stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. And
got a good view of Mount Adams and Mount Rainier from there, too, if it's Yakima area.
Adams, Mount Rainier, and St. Helens.
Oh, we got St. Helens view, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that out my front door.
Lucky. St. Helens is so dope.
Part of it, anyways.
Left.
It was better May 1st, 1980, I think.
Yeah.
May 17th.
I meant before the eruption.
The 18th was that. Oh my God. Do you guys realize what 60,000 feet in the air looks like?
Oh boy.
It's hard to comprehend.
What does it look like?
It's holy crap. I don't know how many miles 60,000 feet is, but that's how far up in the air St. Helens blew on May 18th. It was quite the thing.
It is 11.36 miles. 11.36 repeating.
Wow.
Yeah, we got it. All the ash over here was shoveling like snow. Like my dad's.
Yeah, we were happy because when it blew, it was all blowing east.
All right. Just so you guys know, we are gonna gear up to be ending in like 5 or 6 minutes, but not yet. We have to finish it out strong. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Can I say rest in peace to the Portland Rapid Response Team?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk more about it.
Yes.
The Portland riot cops all quit, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It's a volunteer. It was a volunteer type of group. They're still police officers. They just quit that patrol.
Now, they are police officers that, being those volunteers, had special training to be riot cops. So they weren't just your average untrained guy here, come on out. We're highly trained, but because of what the district attorney in Multnomah County did, charging one of them with assault, they all said we can't police like this.
Yeah, I saw that video. That was I mean, like, it's kind of rude, but otherwise, like, that's kind of their job.
Well, they're still going to be out there. They're still going to be out there. They can still get called up, to, hey, we got this thing going. You got to get over here. Well, you're not so much part of this. We're still going to have cops out there, okay, regardless.
Yes.
Okay, it's just they had this special task force that was out there with the special training. It's just, they're like, oh, screw this. We're going back to doing what, So they're still cops. They're not fired.
But I did hear that they are starting to go after them partly because of that. But the Portland Union stood up for them. Like, we totally back what they did. That's no problem. It's sort of a prequel to.
Did you know that? Yeah. When he was running for district attorney, he mentioned that he was going to be looking to charge a cop with crimes.
And they still voted him in. Yeah, it's Portland for you.
But I think Harpy was right. If you watch that video, it is the basis of what he's charged on. Yeah, he pushed the girl down. Yes, he had a baton, but it was held in two hands. He wasn't swinging. He did kind of shove. But these people have been told to frickin' disperse. How many times?
Tons.
Exactly.
It is
That's
literally
So she got pushed to the ground.
Plus, Internal Affairs, when they reviewed it originally and everything, they said, no, nothing excessive done in that situation and everything. And it was even by a community board or whatever that did that. And then later on, then the district attorney kind of stepped in, even after all that stuff was decided. That's what was bad about it. Community already said, no, he's innocent. But not the DA.
And that's too bad, because the DA had been, I think maybe he's lashing out because of what's been going on the last couple of weeks here, is the feds have been picking up people.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to let anybody out lately.
And so he's kind of lashing out, but people were thinking, oh, this guy's coming around. Maybe he's going to survive his next election. District attorney is to protect the public, period. That's their job.
Right.
And I do not live in Multnomah County, but I can't say I would feel safe.
Yeah, you're safe up there in Vancouver area.
There's a lot of cops I know in Minnesota that are just, and I've said this many times before, they're just leaving their jobs to go take lower paying jobs somewhere else just because Minnesota does not support the police there. And they all know it. And, it's getting so bad that they're just finding literal chopped up body parts out on the street corners now. And that's just the way it is out there now, Yeah. So these people have to be really careful when they wish for abolish the police or when they want no cops. When these cities have to be careful when they literally stop supporting the cops and just let their city go to complete anarchy and shit. Yeah, there's some bad cops out there, but look, man, the alternative, you do not want the alternative, because guess who becomes the new cops? Mr. Bill, say it.
Sorry, I was
the gangbangers. The gangbangers become the new cops.
Yeah.
Whoever patrols the cities whoever patrols the blocks with guns becomes the new cops.
And that's kind of what we kind of saw with the march a couple days ago in Minneapolis. There was a march and a kid, big white kid, kind of dressed in the PB colors. Apparently somebody's like, gun. They turn over and there's this black dude walking up to this dude. It's like, I'm patting you down. And and I mentioned this in my stream, it was like, it was the smart thing for the white kid to turn around and just go, okay, pat me down, whatever. And the black dude goes, I had to do that. And he's all, yeah, but I came here to try and help protect you guys from undesirables, meaning Antifa, certain other groups coming out there. It's scary to think that that's where we've come to. I'm glad it didn't get out of control. But it was also kind of funny when the security guy, the black guy, went over and he's like, you okay? You good? And he's like, somebody took my phone. Dude goes, who has his phone? Guys turn around going, oh, here you go.
He literally stole his phone.
Yeah. And the dude turned around and goes, who has his phone? And one dude's like, oh, here you go. And gave it back to him. I was like,
yeah.
That's bullshit. Now listen to this. They hate cops so much that they themselves became the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's think about that. Let that sink in for a second, though, They hate cops so bad that they have become the cops themselves.
Have you ever read a book called The Animal Farm by George Orwell?
I did read that book.
So this is exactly, it's happening. Right?
They're becoming the very thing they swore to destroy.
Exactly.
Yep.
They want to tear the power away from people who are in power and give the power to themselves.
Well, you know what comes next after they get rid of the cops and it becomes all havoc, right? The military comes in.
Yeah.
It's chaos theory. It's chaos theory. Everybody wants to have their own, but there's going to be a time where you need to have organization and a leadership, but then someone's going to get tired of that and then go back into anarchy and then right back into... I mean, it's just this vicious cycle that they don't understand that that's exactly what's happening.
Isn't that what happened to Stalin, kind of? Or like them people's like once like the leader dies, everyone goes into complete anarchy.
Oh yeah, and then there has to be some sort of order, some sort of democracy. But then people get sick and tired of that and gotta throw them out, So anarchy all over again. The movie SLC Punk actually kind of talks a little bit about that.
I love that movie.
Yeah, when he's talking to the stoner dude and he's
Yeah.
like, I've been stoned since I was 7. I can't get stoned anymore. But they, Steve-O and him always go back and forth about it. Chaos
SLC
theory.
Punk, you said?
SLC Punk with Matthew Lillard as, Shaggy from the movies.
All right, I'm going to watch that today. Let me write that down.
SLC Punk.
If you two love it, I have to see it because I've never seen it.
I love
wait. Maybe I did see this.
Bob.
Maybe I did see this.
Hero and Bob, yeah. It's a good movie, especially if you've been into the punk scene. It takes place in the 80s in Salt Lake City.
No, I got an old friend who was in the punk scene, and he had every Jackass movie, and I think he showed me this.
One of the greatest scenes is when they go to Wyoming to go pick up the beer because they're alien.
I was probably so high or drunk that I just don't remember it. I'll have to rewatch it. Guys.
Yeah, I love the acid scene when he's like standing on that thing in the middle of the lawn. He's like, Bob, you must be Jesus. You're walking on water.
You are
like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Devon Sawa. That's right. All you girls, you guys remember Devon Sawa, Casper?
That was Casper? I remember that movie.
Casper's in it.
Where he's dancing with the chick and they're floating up to the ceiling in the haunted mansion.
Devon Sawa. Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta say, this has been the absolute best podcast for multiple reasons. Number 1, Powerhouse Cast. Number 2, video. For everybody. And number 3, I think doing it live was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we should do it again. You guys want to just make a schedule like this time next week?
That works.
We can do that. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock on Mondays sound good to me so far.
All right, let's just do it on a schedule, just so I don't have to try to do this shit again, because I'll tell you, it was tough. I knew it was gonna be tough, and I was up for it. But I think a schedule might work for people. I'm not a schedule guy, but for this, I'll make a schedule. I'm an anti-schedule guy. I'm not gonna lie, but whatever. I'm gonna end this right now. Everyone, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Can we say thank you for all the subscriptions to Shizbang in the chat there? Thank you guys, including That1WeirdGurl and some other subs I saw.
I'm going to look at chat right after this and start thanking people, but thank you all for watching. Shout out YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next one.